Ladies and gentlemen, all rise for the RankKing's court.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. It is another Tuesday night, which means it is another episode of the RankKing's Court in store for all of you beautiful viewers. How are we doing tonight, boys? As always, we have Oracle, Vo, and Noble Knight Greg on stand for this, but we also have a guest tonight. Please welcome everybody for tonight's topic. This is one of my good friends from college. This is Nate Foster.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Nate.
Welcome, Nate. Welcome.
Thank you.
So we're going to discuss the topic in, a couple minutes. I mean, if it's not blatantly obvious from the poster that he's presented on the back wall, which is killer. I love it.
It's kind of hard to see here.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh, So, yeah, they do the But, yes, another Tuesday has come, and another Tuesday we will talk about random things. Last weekend, let's bring in a little bit of that show before we get into everything. And before get into everything, where are you boys located tonight?
Well, I don't know where Nate is located. Nate's in an undisclosed location, kind of like you are, like northern of the city that we don't really venture up towards because who would in their right mind? But RankKing's Court is live today from the Union Fitness Studios, located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym. It's a place where you can transform yourself inside and out. With a variety of classes based around fitness, yoga, strength, and performance training. At Union Fitness, they believe that it is their duty to hold themselves and their clients to a higher standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values, make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today to sign up for a consultation. Through Union, there is strength. Perfect.
All for it. All for it.
There we go.
Hey!
It's his first time. He didn't know.
That's fun. I love it. I love it. So last weekend was our zombie episode. I thought it was dope. We had a lot of zombie content that we brought to all of you. How did we do on the teams? I think mine was the best. Nate can judge them if he really so wants to, because, Vo, let's be honest, if you even remotely put Boss Baby in one of these again, I was going to smack you, but you didn't.
I did not put Boss Baby on this one.
No.
But I did have Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Yes.
Which outrun zombies, which is one of the... You need cardio.
Stingers.
You need cardio.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. Yeah, can you imagine trying to run in Converses? Do you have any idea how annoying and how many calluses you're going to build up on your feet from that?
Well,
Can you imagine trying to just run it all? That would suck. But let's get Nate, I'm going to list off the teams here real quick. You can tell me exactly whose squad you thought would have been better to defend against a zombie apocalypse. So let's start with Greg's. He had Wichita, Tallahassee, the Undertaker, the T-800 from that's a
Terminator.
Terminator and
Jesus.
Eggsy. Vo had Dr. Robert Neville, Brian Mills, Bray Wyatt's The Fiend, Mike Banning, and Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Okay.
To which mine lands us with Dutch, Ash Williams, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Lord Voldemort, and Jason Bourne. There's a lot of star power in some of these, so you got to figure how exactly they could work.
Yeah.
There's a lot going into all this.
And this is against zombies, I'm guessing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what type of zombies though? Fast zombies, slow zombies?
Any zombies
It's a
essentially.
Didn't really
question.
specify.
Yeah.
So
If I had to let's specify a little bit because I think that's a good one to say. Recently, there've been more of the fast zombie variety. Let's go with the fast one from like 28
there's
days
been
later.
more
fast,
fast ones
yeah.
recently. Okay.
More fast.
They picked up speed over the years.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Well,
game
evolution,
is
man.
Yeah, true.
See, that's tough, but because like whoever has the robots kind of like probably kind of gonna win due to the fact that
Just
robot,
saying. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Terminator, baby.
it's gonna it's gonna do that. It's gonna terminate because
we
you
do
can't
have.
they can't get infected. So
That's true.
Yeah.
We do have various forms of Arnold Schwarzenegger being I have Dutch from the Predator film, and he has the T800. So I love. All I wanted was for him to be like, he's like, let's get to the chopper. This is zombie apocalypse. We got to get to the chopper.
So you didn't actually think
should-
about your reasoning. You just wanted that person for the sake of wanting that one phrase for him to say.
Well, let's not get into total mess. I mean, maybe not.
Why did I not take Turbo Man? Now I'm thinking back at it. I should have took Turbo Man.
Also, shout out to the person on, I don't know who said it on Twitter today, but came up with the idea that none of us thought of was John Wick.
that was Dre.
Oh,
That was
Yeah,
Dre.
that would've been
geez.
I did think of him after the fact. But,
See,
it was already too late.
Yeah.
So.
I had Jason Bourne as my last pick. I want as soon as you pick up one of those, it's kind of like iffy to pick up another guy like John Wick or let's say another one such as
Brian Mills.
Brian Mills, yeah, or even from GoldenEye, like all those guys. Like it's just not. It's wrong to put another spy with another spy group. So let's say that.
Not if you're building a team of spies.
Not building a team of spies. So we got what's up, boys? Grind Project. Welcome to
He's
the
here
chat.
tonight.
Hey, Foster, just so you know, Grind Project, our number one fan as of late, has been ducking us on some shows lately.
He's just busy on Tuesdays. Who's busy on Tuesdays?
Us.
Right?
Yeah,
Us, we got a show to do.
Well,
Before we move on with the actual subject, I want to share with you guys this beer that I'm drinking right now. It's just because normally you see me.
it's a free plug. Free plug, folks. Free plug. No
plug.
sponsorship tied to it. Just a free plug. Although we are friends. We're friends with one of the guys there. Just saying, but still.
Yeah, I'm saying. So normally you see me drinking a White Claw, Coors Light, maybe a High Noon now and then. But I got a beer here actually tonight. This is the Double Golden Rye India Pale Ale, kind of hot in these rhinos, and the artwork of this thing is
pretty
just
sweet.
incredible.
Shout out to
It's-
Tom Ness. He's the one that designed that. Yeah.
Yep. So Voodoo Brewery, thank you so much for that. This is phenomenal so far. So that swear jar thing might be getting into some dark categories here.
Basically, what we're saying is that Austin had a very rough day today, so he decided to break out some heavy stuff for the show tonight. So
We'll see if he makes it through the whole show.
yeah, I don't
got
trust him to
faith.
be able to do that.
I would hope so.
Hey, I got faith. I got faith.
That makes
Well,
one
since
of
we
us.
got, oh god. So since we got Faith, we brought Nate on tonight because I want to do this topic for how long, and I just never thought of the right way of how to introduce it. I've talked about it at times because we have done an anime episode from time to time here on this show, incorporating different ones to go along with, but we've never really dissected one on its own. And I wanted this to be the first one, and I also wanted to be at the right time. Well, season 4, part 2, episode, it's technically episode 1, but episode 17 of it in total dropped 2 days ago. And man, tonight's episode is all about Attack on Titan. This is one that I found on my own and I have nourished throughout the years. Normally when, you look up an anime or something, like you have to have someone else tell you about it, how great it is. But this is also Nate's baby. Like this is one of Nate's, if not Nate's favorite anime to talk about. So I could have thought of no one better to bring on for this topic than you. Nate, what I want you to do right now, I'm not saying to sell it, but please just explain the synopsis of Attack on Titan, because this is literally it's up there in my top tiers of like the best animes of all time.
It's definitely in my top 5. That's for sure. How to explain it though, because due to the fact that everything that's happening now is like so different from the way really at the beginning. But just general point, basically you got last bit of civilization just living inside of these 3 walls, struggling to survive only because of these giant like monsters, I would say, called Titans, these humanoid monsters, basically devouring them as soon as they try to leave the sanctity of these 3 walls. The massive wealthy live in the center, the semi-wealthy on the second ring, and then the dirt poor at the very end. And wealthy live fine, but everyone else is just struggling to survive. And it's basically just a story about them finally getting invaded because the wall breaks. All right. And then it all just goes downhill from there. So you just see a bunch of it's just insane. That's all I can really say, is just how insane it is.
From what I want to bring up, it happened in the first episode, and I laughed so hard when it happened because someone had mentioned Titans have never broken through the walls, and then it happens that episode. I'm like, oh,
immediately, not even like 5 minutes after. Honestly,
yeah, it's like, of course, like now everyone's looking at this, they're like you piece of garbage. Like, what are you doing? You just screwed everybody. What are you doing?
And what also set the tone earlier in that episode was that the Survey Corps, which is basically like there's like different corps in the series that get introduced. Ones that man the wall, ones that protect basically the inner wall where the wealthy are, the military police essentially. That's what they actually are called, the military police. And then you got the Survey Corps, which is the people that go outside the wall to try to get information and also try to reclaim some land if possible, and also try to find the secrets of what the Titans really are.
Yep.
And early in the first episode, they come back and everyone is just bandaged. Some don't have limbs, some don't have eyes, and one civilian comes up and is just like, hey, where's my kid? Is my kid okay? Oh man, like you're like the best. Like I know you would protect her and whatnot. And then he just gives her kid's just arm, because that's all was left of it.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Is
it
this
is
like I'm guessing this is not a kid's show.
It's anime, man. Anime is not kid friendly, dude.
The thing that I love about this series for a number of reasons, but it incorporated something that I've just never seen before, and it was this sense of very almost primitive technology, but it wasn't. And what I'm talking about here is this this ring that they have wrapped around their waist, which is technically a mobilized gear. And what it does is that it shoots these, I don't know what you call them, like
I would say grapple hooks almost.
Grapple hooks, yeah.
Yeah.
And they use these to maneuver Titans and to like fly along the trees. And this is the main thing that the Survey Corps uses. And we see just how kind of like just overpowered some of these characters can be in anime because of this. And we'll get to some of them in a second. But overall, I know this is going to be a lot for this whole show. Look at me. This whole show, spoiler alert. If you have not seen any of Attack on Titan, please go read the manga. Please go watch the anime that's going on right now. It is phenomenal. We are going to be talking about everything that has basically happened up until now in the anime, because we don't want Nate has already, he's bypassed me. I've never read the manga. I've wanted to start collecting it for how long, but I just haven't. I am fully invested in the anime, so we're going to be talking about everything that's happened up until that point in the anime.
I didn't even realize you read, to be honest with you.
Hey, sometimes
Picture books,
I read, but sometimes I also can do this.
Oh.
If I did one of those, I was a Titan, I would turn into one right now. It's crazy.
Okay.
That's why if you had it, well, all right.
Got you. So what we're going to do right now is let's get the rumbling started. We are getting into our first radical ranking of the evening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the first radical ranking of the evening is very simple at best. These are the top Attack on Titan characters. And this is a tough one because they're, from whatever you want to talk about, if they are the main characters, if they are the side characters, there is a bunch of relationships that you build on watching the show and watching these characters maneuver. And part of what makes a show so great is just how these characters are developed throughout all these different arcs. And so I want to talk about specifically 5 that I have mentioned and that they are possibly the best in the entire series. One is going to be separate from like the rest of them when you get into. Nate knows what I'm going to talk about because number 5 is my cop out, the potato girl herself. Number 5 is Sasha Browse.
Yeah.
Did you say potato girl?
Yes.
She actually has a potato in her hand.
Nate, do you want to explain the concept? Because the internet went wild over this scene in like the first season.
So basically what occurred was Titans attacked the wall, they got through and whatnot, and then a bunch of people signed up to like join the military essentially. Some were just kids and whatnot, and one of them was Sasha Browse. And what occurred was in the lineup, the head guy, I forget his name at the moment, but he's like going around just like basically harassing every single one of the cadets. And then all of a sudden you just see this girl, she's just eating a potato, just in the middle of everything. Well, everyone's just getting berated and she's just chowing down. He goes up to her and he's just like goes up and he just says like, "What are you doing?" She goes up, does a salute with the potato still in hand, introduces herself, and then
No way, she actually did that.
yeah, with the potato in hand, and then just simply says like, "Oh, like, do you want half?" And just breaks it in half, tries to give it to him, and then she has to keep on running until basically nightfall after that.
Yeah, this, to make context for it, this meeting happened in the morning.
Yeah.
So because of this potato thing, she was running until dawn. So
With the
absolutely
potato in hand?
potato. No,
No potato.
No
potato.
potato. But Sasha's character is by far one of the best comic reliefs of the series because she is always, to give some background on her, she was a hunter that literally lived with her father along the woods and was mad because of the recent Titan attacks, they would have to start moving into the city more and abandon the hunter lifestyle that they grew up with. So Sasha always hunted for food.
Yep.
And she is always hungry. She's always hungry. She's chowing down on like maybe like 4 plates at a time when everyone else is just relaxing.
Or
That's because she was
steals food
running
from
all
the
that
guards.
time.
I was gonna say she has to have a ridiculously fast metabolism.
Yeah,
If
she
that's
ran
the
it
case.
off.
Yeah.
One of my other favorite moments with her, to be honest, is like whenever she stole all the meat from not the
Yes.
one, but like the only meat I think from the guards' quarters, and it's just like, yeah, we're gonna eat this so much after we're done like guarding this wall, and then then the wall got attacked again as soon as she said that.
Aw,
Yeah, right now she is my favorite. That is right.
That's funny.
That is good because this is the only one mentioned so far. So that's good. Yeah, she's definitely one of the funniest characters to boot with this, and it's Nate brings up a thing with stealing the meat. Meat in Attack on Titan is a very sacred item, just because there's not a lot to be found because of when Titans they don't, especially I would say like the pure Titans, they are your like typical Titans that you see running around. And they will just eat everything. Like they normally attack people. That's their prime objective.
that's the only thing they do attack. They don't attack
Yeah.
any animals. They don't
Yeah,
eat
that's right.
anything else. Yeah.
Right.
They don't,
All right.
the reason why like there's like no more meat is because after that first ring got destroyed, there was like that was where all the like farming land and whatnot was. So after that, there's like no more cows, or if there was only a little bit. So they were screwed on meat after that.
So they gotta become vegans now.
Yeah, basically.
That's unfortunate.
They
Pretty
bring
much.
veganism into this thing. Number 4 was a character that I was very kind of like iffy on at first, just based on her very aggressive style. But I now realize with everything going on of what it is. My number 4 is one of the main characters of the show. Number 4 is Mikasa.
Oh, okay.
Just out of curiosity, how many main characters are there?
There are technically 3 main characters, I would say,
Okay.
Nate.
Okay.
There are at least primarily in the beginning, and then there's like sub main ones going down the road, but the 3 main ones from the beginning are Mikasa or Mikasa. Armin.
That's how I said it when I was.
Yeah,
putting the show together.
Mikasa sounds way more.
Mikasa.
Like...
Yeah, it's
Tsukasa.
people say it differently. Her, Armin, and Eren. Those are the 3 main ones that you are introduced to the beginning of the show. And Mikasa is a very interesting character because she essentially is just going through this life trying to protect Eren. That's been her main goal ever since her and Eren were attacked by 2 individuals, and she stabbed someone to death as a child. Like, not that they're children now, but like I'm talking like 6 years old.
Oh,
like
okay.
stabbed an adult.
Yeah, her
death.
and Aaron did that.
Yeah. So it became her, I guess you could call it goal or passion to protect Eren as much as she could. And you see that throughout the show of her just telling him how much of an idiot he is sometimes. And like, just she like
Someone has to.
Yeah, she has to. Yeah, well, you and I know what's going on. Yeah, but in that retrospective, like even in the first episode, he's getting like beaten up by like 2 bullies for trying to help out Armin, and Mikasa comes in and just smacks the 2 of them and is like, "You have to get home. Your mother's worried about you." She's like, "Just stop fighting my battles for me. I'm fine." Like, but and she is, I would argue, when everyone goes into the military to try to find out what they want to do, whether it be the MP, whether it be the Guardians of the Wall, or whether it be the Survey Corps, she is at the top of the class. Like, she is the best Titan killer that they have. And what, Nate, they went into this probably, were they 12 years old when they came out of this, or were they...
Yes,
they were young. Like,
yeah,
they
I
were
believe
really
they
young.
went into the military at 10 years old, because that was the only way they could get food. Because fun facts, they sent half the population to go die.
Yeah.
In order to save food for everybody. So we're like, okay, we're gonna join the military, and then for about 2 years they trained, and I think it was, I want to say they were 12 or 14. I can't remember. They either went in at 12, came out 14, or went in at 10 and came out 12 years old. But regardless, they're young, and they have just this monumental task ahead of them, essentially.
Is it like one of those things that you have to join the military, or else you will be?
Well, they
part
didn't
of
have to.
They
Oh,
didn't
okay.
have to. They literally could have just been on the sideline as a civilian, but I mean, they all just had that. Well, for at least our 3 main characters, that if one of them was going to join, everyone was going to join.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to bring up, is that the top, I believe 10, correct, Nate? The top 10 of the class had their choosing if they wanted to join the military police right away, because it would be in the right middle of the wall, away from everything, living in luxury, and all of them don't. And it's nuts, because Eren gives a speech and they all decide to join the Survey Corps to go out and search and fight instead of living in luxury and being safe. It's one of the craziest things, because, you know, everyone's just like, why would they do that? Why would we do this? And even the one guy, Jean, at the beginning was like, who wanted to join the MP from the very beginning, was like, man, and he was just like, I'll do it. I hate it, but I'll do it. And to say the least, when the Titans show up, they get absolutely slaughtered. Like, it's bad. I mean, you can't blame them. They're 12 years old in the military, like trying to prove everything. Like, but they get absolutely, all their tactics don't work. The plans fail, and just overall carnage ensues. And carnage is what I want to talk about coming up to our third character, because he is the definition of the tragic character. And I love this one so much, and I'll go into detail. But my number 3 is Reiner.
Okay, Reiner rules. Also, I just fact checked real quick. They were 15 when they finished the training.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was either 1 and 2, but yeah, Reiner. He's probably. I'm gonna carry on this real quick. He's probably one of my favorite characters, to be honest with you. He's one of the most interesting characters just because of his dynamic in the entire thing, and also what's revealed later on, and how it's just. I don't want to spoil, right? I think.
Well, we said spoiler.
Oh, yeah, we did spoiler.
Yeah, he already did the 3, 2, 1 spoiler. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll go into detail with that, because Reiner essentially is one of the people that join the military and become really good friends with Aaron and the group, with him and his buddy Bertolt. And what ends up happening with the dude, I hate Bertolt so much. But yeah, Reiner ends up just trying to be like the best soldier that he can possibly be. But it's revealed later. Before I get into any,
I want to talk about that reveal too.
I know. So before I get into anything, there are your normal Titans, there are your abnormal Titans that are like the same as pure, but they're a little bit more intelligent. Mm-hmm. And then there are your, 9 Titans. There are your 9 specific Titans that were passed down through Marley that have their own unique abilities, their own consciousness that can transform whenever they feel like it. What ends up being revealed is that Reiner was known as the Armored Titan that struck down the wall with Bertolt, who turns out to be the Colossal Titan. So they are in enemy territory as these 2 Titans fighting alongside to gain an advantage. And it's revealed that these 2 are the enemy. And it's one of the most shocking scenes of the entire franchise, because you're thinking, just how could this happen? Like, why the character developments between these 2 with everyone, it's such a betrayal that we see just how ruthless this can be. And what ends up happening is Reiner's psyche cracks in this. He goes from being your soldier up front to developing his original personality, which is the soldier inside the Titan that's fighting to bring back the lives with Marley. So he is fighting 2 different inner demon battles without realizing it until, later on he gets the help he needs. But he was in we always talk about when people go undercover that they lose themselves to that undercover persona. And that's exactly what happens here, man, because it is the scene where he acts like nothing. So they kidnap Aaron, take him back to the tree, and then he acts like nothing happened, that he's still part. And I was looking at it, like, whoa, like what's wrong? And it's revealed that Reiner is psychologically damaged from how much he's been in with this whole process, how much that he had to endure at a young age, to essentially going behind with the, quote unquote, the demons in the wall, and just how brutal everything this can be.
For the amount you talk about him, I'm surprised he's not your number 1, honestly.
Well, that proves that how many great characters there are in the show.
There's so many just amazing and also some like complex characters that it's just truly just one of the best I would say well written and just well built shows out, like anime out there, truly.
Yeah.
Right before New Age, hands down.
Yeah. You know, before that we had like the likes of like, you know, Dragon Ball Z and One Piece and like all these other different shows that were on like Adult Swim and everything. And then Attack on Titan dropped, and it was like a whole new level of just craziness with anime.
Hey, I can talk about One Piece too. Don't you know? Don't you know?
I know you can talk about.
I'm all caught up on that.
Save that for a different show.
Yeah, say that for a different
Hey,
show.
Austin, do you have the comments up?
I do actually.
You want to read Deke's comment?
So
I think
he
it's funny if
says,
you read it.
Nate, I like the cut of your. Does that say jib?
It says
cut
jib.
Of your jib. Yeah, you want a job hosting a not quite open yet vacancy on a certain ranking show.
Hey, maybe.
We didn't want to tell you yet, Austin. It was supposed to be a kind of a thing we have to touch on later, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
In
That's
other
why
news,
Deke said sorry later.
Another news. He subscribed to Tier 1, so
Oh,
thanks.
thanks, Deke.
Thanks,
I
bud.
appreciate you.
So, let's move on from number 3 to number 2. Nate, you can argue the most overpowered character in the entire show.
Was he number 2?
He's number 2. I know. So number 2 for me is one Levi Ackerman. Levi, he is a scrawny looking dude that all like the he's literally like 5 foot, like shorter than I am.
5 foot.
Huh.
But he is, when I'm talking like this is like the girl heartthrob of anime. Like I am not joking. Like they scream for this dude as much as Harry Styles if it was in real life. Like this is basically what it is.
Really? Huh.
Oh yeah. Like when it comes to anime, when
This guy.
women that watch, the girls that watch anime, Levi is at the top of the list. And it's hard to argue why, because he is the leader of the Survey Corps, and well, second in command, I should say, to Erwin. So got you there, Nate. Just making sure, fact checking myself. But he is, when I joke about the most overpowered, I'm not joking. Like he is the most overpowered character in the entire show. Whereas, you know, one member of a Survey Corps will struggle with one Titan. Levi will take out 5 without breaking a sweat. Like just the maneuvering of the mechanism that he uses with the blades. So they use blades. I never really went into detail with that, but they use blades. And the only way to kill the Titan, so to speak, is to swipe at the nape of the neck. That brings them down.
So it's like the carotid artery, essentially. That's like the
essentially,
only way.
yeah.
Okay.
Essentially, yeah. And I'm gonna like add on to this real quick too, because we never talked about how tall these Titans actually are.
Yeah.
They all range, the pure Titans, like, you know, normal Titans, they range from about 3 to 15 meters in height. And then you got some of the special Titans, which get a little bit taller and whatnot. Then there's the Colossal Titan, which is, I think, 60 meters, I believe.
60 meters, I think, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm going to check real quick. Yeah, 60 meters. So, like, it literally looms over this, like, 58-meter wall and is just, like, looking over it. So, like, dude's gigantic. And
just peeking
then
over.
you got this guy. Then you got this guy that's 5 foot just going around killing every single one. So.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Nate, do you want to go into detail just how crazy Levi is with the battlefields and just everything? Like, because I could go into it, man, but I feel like I'd be here forever. Like,
we really would be here forever due to the fact of how many amazing moments that Levi has had throughout the entire series, even up until now. It's just like he's one of the most. He's literally a Beyblade with blades. That's all he is.
Okay, I like that. I get that reference. That's awesome.
I mean, he's not joking. Like when, you know, you'll go and you'll see someone like swipe like this, like he swings and just moves his entire body around.
Yeah.
Like, it's like Ben Franklin's kite in Storm. Like it's blowing. It's going crazy.
It's blowing.
I just no electricity. Got it.
I think in one of the most recent episodes before the season finale for like the final part 1, I think 30 of his comrades got turned into Titans. That's something we're going to touch on actually too eventually with one of my favorite characters. But 30 of his comrades got turned into Titans, and then he kills all 30 with ease. Like they're all surrounding him and whatnot, and he just gets them all just like that.
Yep.
Wow.
It is it's funny because like I said, we'll talk about that going into it, and I want to save that for a little bit, but it is one of the most OP scenes I've ever seen. Like just how just brutal everything is. And finally, what we get, they're like, I prefer the Titans. They're like 6'8", says Derek. And finally, our number one character, the amount of development from how much of a piece of crap he was in the beginning of the show to now you see is this scary individual. Number one is in fact the main character of this entire show. Number one for me is Eren Yeager.
All right.
Yeah, I know. So Eren, essentially, to start off, give you guys backstory, like Eren being the most important character of this show, watches his mother as he's being carried off get eaten by a Titan. And which in the beginning of the show, like
that's episode 1.
Yeah,
that's how it opens.
Okay.
That's how episode 1 ends. And
and throughout season 1, it's just such we always talk about just like teenage angst. Like it's so much teenage aggression where it's just like, the Titans, I'm gonna kill them all. I'm gonna kill them.
So it's secretly a teen drama, but in animation mode, is what you're saying.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and for a while I was like, oh my God, just shut up and do it. Stop talking about it and just do it. And after everything that occurs, he learns everything and becomes this, I don't even know how to say it, Nate, becomes this almost
genocidal maniac.
Right. Like it is, he starts off essentially as the hero throughout the 3 seasons. And then as soon as season 4 hits, it's like flip the script. Like it is, he is so concerned in the beginning with protecting the innocent. He comes out and just murders like probably a good 1,000 innocent people in like one of the first couple of scenes in like season 4, which we'll touch on, and I want to make that clear just so everyone's like, well, does he kill him with the blades? Now, Eren is in fact the Attack Titan, which is another specialized Titan in the show. Mm-hmm. And man, it is, you see just the development and how so much has changed and it's become so much darker and so much understanding. Like everything incorporated to this makes Eren one of the most ruthless characters. And it didn't even start out that way.
No, not at all. He was started out as like one of the, I guess, like characters that you can like be like very hopeful for and whatnot. But now, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say now because a lot of people are on his side with what's going on, and I completely see like why. But from my perspective, and also like because I read the manga, but also that didn't really help because I know what happened. But basically, like he turns into one of the most insane like villains out there. Even though at the same time you just like you want to root for him, but at the same time you just can't because of what he's doing.
Right. Like it's kind of like he's incorporating like a euthanasia plan to just wipe everything off the map. And that's not just men, that's women, that's children. Like it's
everything.
It's nuts, dude.
And it's all just to protect his island. That's it.
Yep.
So then essentially is he an anti-hero then?
I would say so, yeah. That's why I wanted to say it because think of the word at the time. He's probably like the definition of an anti-hero.
He's on like the very edge of like anti-hero and villain. Like right there. He's right there. It's hard to argue with all the genocide that he's been doing lately. But
hey Austin, Grind Project wants to know who you and Nate would be if you were one of those characters.
I was one.
So yeah, this is character. So let's say that we don't like, because that's something for later on that we're going to discuss. Strictly just characters, not Titans, just strictly characters?
That's tough. That's actually really tough.
So I have mine in mind, and it's an interesting one. I think it splits to my personality. I think I'd be Connie.
Yeah.
Connie is another like comic relief character. Like he's like the shortest out of everybody. Like he is the short kid.
You as relief? I don't know about that.
I bring relief to the show all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. I'm relief and knowledge. But yeah, he's just going with the flow and just trying to make what's best out of everything, trying to make a joke out of everything that's going on, which I do. So I'd say I'd be Connie. Nate, who would you be?
Probably Jean, honestly.
Probably Jean.
I would think so, yeah.
Jean starts off as like an antagonist a little bit in the first season, and then sort of like understands and goes along with the core and what they're doing. And really, when I say character development, like he probably has one of the best character development arcs.
Oh, hands down. Yeah, I agree with that.
Grind Project also says you look like a Connie.
You know, I kind of look like him actually if I like just don't show my hair and it's just like this.
Yeah.
So I get it. He's kind of like bald with a shaved head. But all right, that is the top Attack on Titan characters. Let's move on to Radical Ranking number 2. People will tell you all the time exactly why they love certain things. I'm here to tell you of the top 5 reasons why people love Attack on Titan.
So is this also your top 5 reasons why we should watch Attack on Titan as well?
I would say so.
Okay.
Makes sense.
All right.
Makes sense.
All right.
That's a good way to reimagine it, because number 5, Isolation Reimagined.
I feel like isolation is probably not something you should root for. I also think it's not something you should encourage, Austin, because I feel like that leads to some problems for people. So I don't know if this is one of your best starting points.
Well, if you would, am I allowed to rebuttal? Am I allowed to say my thing?
Well, I mean, it is your
of
show.
course.
It's your
It is a
show.
courtroom.
I'm not promoting isolation. I'm saying when we talk about films and TV shows where you're essentially the last of your kind or the last people in a particular place or even the last people in the world.
The Last of Us, if you will.
Exactly. Good game. So this
Great. It all comes back.
all comes back. This is such a reimagining of that tale that it makes you root for just trying to find what's on the outside. You know, anytime that there's, we'll go back to like the zombie films and everything that we did. A lot of that is essentially isolation. You're trying to break out and try to find things that are on the outside to help you out. But a lot of that is not due to, that's due to a lot of zombies. This is due to a certain new evil and a certain new force that a lot of people, quite frankly, don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So reimagining that to the Titans, along with the certain aspects that go along with it, makes the show amazing to watch. And I would argue it would be one of my better starting points.
So just be clear, you are not promoting isolation.
I am not promoting isolation.
Okay,
Just reimagining.
We had to make that clear for people. Okay, good.
Number 4, the emotional grasp.
Oh, God.
This show has had me on the edge of my seat, wishing certain people don't die throughout the entire show. And I get disappointed from time. Not disappointed, I should say. I get emotionally invested in characters, and they're just like, oh, that character had a great arc last episode? Ha, you thought. They
Gone.
It's so much. And like you figure like the most characters you're going to develop with are the main characters, but you develop so many emotional backstories and points to these side characters that it almost makes you feel like you're on the front lines with them. Like it's weird to say that, it's like, he's talking about a TV show. What are you doing, you idiot? Like, what do you mean you're emotionally connected to them? You feel the pain and everything that everybody's going through with this. And to see some of these characters knocked off, some you don't even see on screen. Like,
yeah.
it's just like, why? Like, how? Come on. Like, what do you mean they're gone? Like, it's a rough ride to say the least. And not only with the emotional grasp of the characters, but the emotional grasp of how the show is essentially putting you in a roller coaster ride that you don't ever know if it's going to come down.
So I'm in a glass case of emotions, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That
Okay.
could break at any time, and you're just not sure when.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'll tell you when. But
Yeah,
you'll, you'll see.
No spoilers.
You'll see.
No spoilers yet.
Number 3, the Titans themselves. Like, when people originally watched this show and they just watch these giant, I'm calling that, they're giant naked humanoid creatures that are running around and eating people.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this picture that Vo picked. Yeah.
Well, those are the specialized. Those, by the way, the picture that I picked out.
Yeah, he picks the pictures.
Yeah.
Sometimes. If they don't load, then I pick them.
Yeah.
But the pure Titans themselves are just giant versions of the individual person. And you can see all the humanity is just gone from their eyes. There's a particular scene where they are in a watch, or I wouldn't call it a watchtower, but like a night tower in season 2, Nate, where the Titans supposedly the Titans move only during the day, supposedly. And what ends up happening is that these refuge of Survey Corps members and everything find refuge in this tower and are attacked by Titans at night. And we see these Titans like absolutely overwhelm these people, like to the point where like there's a person that is being literally tugged at every single limb to try to feed one of these Titans. And it is brutal. There's a scene where like the one woman is like just screaming out to be forgiven by her father while she's being eaten. Like it's one of the most uncomfortable scenes that I've watched in recent, but it is brutal to say the least. And then we get into like the Titans that are like those pure ones, but they're abnormal. So they run or they walk backwards or something odd that they like. One could be like 3 meters, to be like just a head with legs, like so to speak. Like those ones, you're just like, how did they get that way? Like why was their reaction so different to becoming a Titan than anybody else? And then finally you have, your 9 of just different abilities and how, like, why they came into play. What is going on? Like, where is the turn point going to head with all these Titans? The Titans make the show, but the number 2 reason is what drives the show.
The attacking?
I see what you did there.
The number 2 are the characters. The characters drive the show more than I can say for any. I mean, when we talk about anime and everything, we have filler episodes and everything. One Piece, very famous for filler episodes, but there doesn't seem to ever be a filler episode for Attack on Titan. Like, you see just how much development with these characters are brought in each and every episode. Are they getting better? Are they getting worse? Are they turning into something more? Like, what is going on? You get that in every single episode. And there's not one character I really hate in this entire show, which says a lot.
That's actually surprising.
I know.
Yeah. Wow, I'm proud of you. Good job.
Hey, it took a while.
Yeah.
Nate,
we're still struggling to find that. So.
Oh, stop it. Nate, your thought on the characters being number 2, rightfully placed?
No, I think that's rightfully placed because each character is. I mentioned this earlier. Everything is so well written by Asayama. He's one of the best authors, I think. And people can argue that because of reasons. But personally, to me, I think he nailed the entire story. I think from beginning to finish is one of the best
Well, we don't. Well, like
Well,
you might
this is
know,
from my perspective, from game
Right.
to finish, is
Right.
like one of the most well written like anime and manga out there, I think. Besides
Right.
Berserk.
Grind,
Berserk is in its own league though.
Grind, Grind Project brings this up. Nate, do you hate any characters?
That's tough. Yeah, Aaron Yeager.
Austin's #1 character.
Yeah, personally, I hate him due to you'll see. That's all I can say. But he's like the reason why, like, it's like a love hate, I should say, because he was one of my favorite characters to becoming one of my, like, not most hated, but definitely one I was just like, man, I rooted for you like all this time, and I was just like, you do this, and I don't know, it hurts, but he's cool.
I get that. And finally, our number one, Nate touched on it a little bit. Number one is the writing. The writing of the manga, the writing of the show. It's one of the, if not the most well-written animes that I've ever seen. And I've watched, when it comes to anime, like Nate is your guru of anime, I would say. Like I'm more of like a predecessor to this. Like I've been into it. I'm starting to get into it more, but Nate is like the guru of anime when it comes to, when he says that it's a well-written anime, he's not kidding. Like it's very well done.
When you say predecessor, though, that kind of throws me off a bit because you're saying you're before the anime.
Well, yeah, I mean, I watched anime before this anime.
So did Nate get you to watch this, or you watch this on your own?
No, I picked this up on my own.
When did you start watching this? Actually, I wanted to ask that earlier.
Oh, this is so. I watched when it first came onto Netflix, the first season. I watched it, and then I was like, where's the rest? And I finally found, I would say like probably like 2 or 3 years. Yeah.
I can picture you sitting there like, where's the rest of it?
Like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is stupid.
It literally left off on a giant cliffhanger too. On
oh my God, it's so bad. Like, but I would say probably like 3 years ago, I found it on Hulu, and it had season 1, it had season 2, it had season 3, and it was like, I get to watch all of this without any commercials or anything. Like this is it. This is what we're doing. So I rewatched season 1, and I finished season 2 and half of season 3 in a day because I was so into it. And I was just like, can't stop watching. And a largely part of that is the writing, man. From how it's written, from season 1 and 2 to being like this survivor story of not understanding the Titans, to season 3 where stuff starts coming out and it's not just the Titans, it's other people that we need to fear and everything. Like it's to season 4 where everything is going absolutely insane.
Oh yeah. It's the way everything just builds from one dynamic to the next is just true. Like you just said, it's truly insane, but it's like contained chaos, I should say.
Yeah.
It's just how well it's just all laid out and just presented to you.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Austin, I think Grind Project liked this ranking because he gave you 500 bits.
That's what I was going to say.
100
thank you to
for
Grind Project. 500
one.
bits donate, and he didn't swear 5 times. So I appreciate
it.
That we know of.
That we know of. That's very fair.
That we know of. I think those are well placed. We have our top 5 of each category, and now I'm interested in this because it is time for the great debate. The great debate is simply this, guys. There are a numerous amount of specific Titans.
By the way, real quick, Grind Project was very early to jump the gun on this, so he already has the order.
Got the order.
Oh, he has the order already.
Yeah.
So before we get into the order, because that's kind of good that he has the order ready already, but I have in here 2, 4, 6. I have 7 of the 9 Titans that are the specific Titans. The 2 that I obviously left out. I left the female Titan out, and I left the founding Titan, so to speak, because I thought that would have been the founding Titan being the most powerful Titan. I thought would have been
Not fair.
Why would you leave the female out? What kind of show are you trying to
Yeah.
say here? First you
Like,
leave Wendy
Are,
out.
are any of us gonna pick the female Titan?
I don't know.
we don't know.
You
We
don't
can't
know.
now.
Okay,
We don't know
that's
anything
me.
about the Attack on Titan, so
You left Wendy out before. Now,
Shut up.
now
So, so the Titans I have listed, I have the Armored Titan, the Attack Titan, the Beast Titan, the Cart Titan, the Colossal Titan, the Jaw Titan, and the Warhammer Titan.
Mm.
So,
like Grind Project brings up a good point. What if Vo wants to classify as a woman?
oh good lord.
We have nothing. I got nothing wrong with that. Austin, you have anything wrong with that?
I don't have anything wrong with it. I just thought that no one would have picked the female Titan if I would have put her in here. So,
Well,
Female Titan
well,
you gotta
rules.
give us the option.
but
unless
the
she's the
gra-
best, and he didn't want us to take the best.
That's true.
the great debate is simply this: what Titan would you be, and why? So this is going to be interesting for Vo and Greg because they're going to go off. I don't know if Vo showed you the pictures, Greg, but they're going to go off specifically of pictures where
Yeah.
Nate and I
We always
have
go off
better-
picture.
Yeah,
a
exactly.
little bit better understanding of the Titans themselves. So we have the order here written. So the order is simply this: Nate, myself, Greg, and Vo.
Okay.
So Nate, you have your first pick of the Titans. Who are you being and why? And when you say why, I would give a little bit of insight up to what their abilities can be. I did also write an article on this on our website at thoughtsfromthebench.com explaining all the Titans and ranking them based on their powers. So check that out if you so choose to. So Nate, you're on the clock. What
Man,
Titan are you being and why?
That's tough. That's actually really tough. I would probably choose. I would probably choose the Warhammer Titan. I would think. Warhammer Titan got introduced late in the series. Really, I would say midway through.
It was midway through
midway.
season four.
Midway through first part of season 4, and she, she is regarded as like one of the strongest Titans to exist due to the fact of her ability where she basically is not it's actually not in the nape of her Titan. She's somewhere completely else in a hard crystallized like cocoon where she can't be hurt or damaged. So there's that right there. And she basically is controlling this Titan through this like weird like cord almost. That's like also I believe like is it like hard and crystallized too? I can't quite remember.
The cord itself is not. The
Okay.
orb itself is, yes.
Yeah. So like she's controlling this Titan through that, and it's like one of the I think the second strongest for attacking and also defending, due to the fact of like all of her abilities of being able to have this giant hammer that can transform to whatever, I believe, and also just going ham. She's like the Warhammer Titan is like one of my favorites personally, and I would choose that.
So to give a little bit more notion on it, the Warhammer Titan can create weapons from its own body, which is nuts. Like say for instance, a Titan jumps at you and you have nothing to defend yourself with. The Warhammer Titan can bring up spikes from the ground and pierce like other Titans. So it is strictly using with its mind. It can make weapons, and not only for attacking but also defending. The giant hammer is primarily its number one weapon for how just amazing the Warhammer Titan is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like a good one with the name like Warhammer.
I would say so.
Sounds pretty deadly.
I was torn between Warhammer and Jaw.
Yeah. So now I'm up on the clock, and I'm confuzzled for this. Just trying.
I don't think that's a word, but okay.
It is. So the Titan that I am going to pick, I'm going to go with the Beast Titan.
So
The
that was my
Beast-
first thought.
Yeah, the Beast Titan is almost like what you would picture like a giant Sasquatch. That is like, I mean, it's what, Nate? Like, look up the height for it. It's like 30, maybe like 30 meters. Like, it's one of the larger titans.
It's 30, yeah.
But the thing about the Beast Titan that is amazing is that the owner of the Beast Titan, using its roar, can turn other individuals into titans that don't know they're titans.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? So it has that, and its long arms. Let's put it this: Zeke, who is known as the Beast Titan in this, grew up. You could see in his past of just playing baseball with people, and Zeke, the Beast Titan, he crushes all this stuff into a ball, and Randy Johnson pitches it as hard as he can, smashing buildings and just obliterating bodies.
That's crazy.
It is a more long-ranged, kind of like you would think of a military in like Call of Duty or something, like a sniper, so to speak. And I love it, so to speak. The Beast Titan is, when we are first introduced to him in season 2, we are absolutely terrified of him.
Oh yeah.
Also, one of the only Titans that can talk.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
So I have a little bit of everything wrapped up of control, range, and communication. So Beast Titan for me.
Also, Beast Titan is 18 meters.
18 meters. Okay.
Yeah.
So just 12 off.
Yeah. Just
Close enough.
We're close.
Yeah. Alrighty. Greg.
All right. So just so we're all clear, Vo actually has the list of all the Titans up on the Attack on Titan wiki page right here. So like I'm reading everything right now, and the one based on the attributes that this one claims to have, I'm just gonna go with, and also because it's the namesake, in my opinion, I'm just gonna go with the Attack Titan.
That's not a bad one, Greg.
Yeah,
So
and the one that the one that really threw out me was that it could see through the memories of its past and future holders, and it's said to have fought for freedom throughout the course of numerous generations. So the idea that it can see through memories of previous and future is really cool.
Yeah. So this, Greg, are you a rebel? Are you the rebel?
I don't have a cause, so.
Greg is a rebel. He's always been a rebel.
But yeah, the Attack Titan essentially in the show, being that it's Aaron's Titan, is the most important. It's also the most well-known Titan of the show. So I can't fault you for that, especially that when I say Attack Titan, the Attack Titan and the female Titan are, I would argue, exactly the same, except for the attributes of the Attack Titan. So it has the ability of just this ruthless aggression that it can use, but it can't see through like the memories and everything. Like it's essentially the Attack Titan, but in female form without any attributes. Which again, I already have the Attack Titan on here. Putting the female Titan on here would be like kind of redundant in my honest opinion.
Okay.
But Greg with the Attack Titan Vo, your last pickings. So where are we going here?
Not gonna lie, the Beast Titan was where I was heading.
We saw a picture of it, and we both looked at each other and said it looks like a friend of ours, so it's kind of funny.
Kind of did.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with the Armored Titan.
Okay.
Because he has armor, so
Good.
he's layered in plates of armor, so he can withstand pretty much anything, any direct hit. He kind of looks like a superhero.
He
in
does,
this one
actually.
picture.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He believes
if I can't
fighting
can't
through.
go Beast, I'm gonna go Armored Titan.
So the Armored Titan, which is Reiner's Titan. Also, I want to point out that one person cannot be the Titan throughout their entire life. So
Yeah,
if you are picked as the Titan, it's what, Nate, 13 years you have left in the world?
I think 13 years. Yes.
So you have 13 years to enjoy it and then pass it down before you die.
Yep. 13.
So that it doesn't die with you. So that's another big point. The Armored Titan, I'm surprised that the Colossal Titan was not picked, personally.
See, I thought about that too. Honestly, I wanted to choose Colossal, but at the same time, I was just like, the Warhammer's so badass. So I had to go
Well,
with that.
Grind Project, don't tell me that Vo won just based on his reasoning. He said the Armor Titan had armor. If that is the thing that wins here, I'm
He's a Titan with armor.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Grind Project. I have no idea who Grind Project is, but I appreciate it.
I don't
No,
either.
you
Yeah.
get out of here. So, yeah, we will put that on social. You will vote to see who won the debate. It's not Vo.
It's
I will say that.
usually not you either, to be fair.
That's very
so,
true, but
yeah.
I gave
Give it to
probably
me.
a really good reason. So, what we're gonna do right here, I'm gonna take a nice swig of the kind of hot in these rhinos.
Wow, so
That is
good.
complete.
Wow.
And we will take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back where Nate and I will go head to head with our top 10 ranking of the evening. Stay tuned. You don't want to miss it.
Let's dive right into sports, as I have strong opinions on that. Which college team could beat a professional team in the same sport right now?
Okay.
There is not a single answer that is better than the LSU Tigers defeating the Cincinnati Bengals.
Even if I know the pitch that's coming, every other part of me is still normal.
That's why it's frustrating for me, Greg.
It's like okay, if I know what something is coming, I know ahead of time. I still have to be able to do the action to get the result that I need.
Okay, so they won 3 games in 10 years with 3 rebuilds.
I don't lose at arguments. All right.
Especially about fast food. So yeah.
You will never walk alone. Guess what? Now you will. Coronavirus.
I barely touch my girlfriend's cat. The most I'd be willing to do is like just kind of put my finger on its forehead and just like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, with us is Alex Kazor from Steelers Depot.
We are live with Ryan Smith, professional cornhole player in the ACL. Ryan,
What all franchises were you able to work with in the NHL?
With Phoenix, Carolina, and Detroit.
So here is Moorhead's ranking. Moorhead is my cousin. He is the rank king.
Higher
Top 10 extra Power Rangers.
Oh.
This is the top 10 emo songs of the 2000s.
There's only one correct answer for number 1. Why is F is for Family better than Futurama when Futurama is like Star Wars for potheads? Like
I know.
I'm
So I think
We have one or two that are mad in the chat.
You're welcome for that.
Okay, we're gonna get banned.
this is it. This is what the show was based on. This is what gave the show life. The top 10s. So, Nate and I are going to discuss our top 10 Attack on Titan moments. Bunch of spoilers ahead, if that wasn't given already at the beginning of the show.
You warn people. It's okay.
They are given to it here. I encourage you, though, to still watch the show because it's phenomenal. Again, we are not giving anything into place of what could happen later. That's Nate. You know, he knows more than I do. So, but Nate is going to give his top 10 or his number 10. I'm going to give my top 10. We're going to domino from there and get along with it. So, Nate, start us off. Your number 10 Attack on Titan moment.
All right, so my number 10 moment is probably whenever Aaron's mom gets eaten, and there's a reasoning for that. The reasoning for that is because back in 2013, when I first watched this anime, like I haven't watched anime in years, and one day I just saw it on my Netflix. I'm like, I'll check this out. Why not? You know, sister's down here playing games. I'm just watching anime on my computer. First episode finishes, I pause it, and I can't talk for 5 minutes just because I was just so shocked of how quickly it escalated and just how gruesome her death was. Just literally picked up her back already broken because her house fell on her. and then she gets picked up, snapped in half again, and then just eaten piece by piece.
And this is episode 1.
This is episode 1. The ending of episode 1.
Oh wow!
And while the credits like go, you just see the carnage of just the Titans walking through, and literally her mother's his mother's blood just raining down on the streets below. And it's probably one of the most gruesome and one of the most memorable scenes to me. And obviously there's like 9 other better ones, but that's still like one of my top 10 moments, hands down.
It's a running joke where it's good, but it's not this. It's funny that we say this because my number 10 is simply titled for me, Episode 1. Episode 1 legitimately got me into this roller coaster ride of what Attack on Titan was. Not just from Eren's mom getting eaten, but from the state you see where it's kind of this like broken utopia of people trying to find whatever they can to survive. And then halfway through, you just see this giant lightning bolt hit the wall. And you see this giant, like no flesh, muscle only head just creep up along the wall. And I'm like, jeez.
Here we go.
What's going on here? And what happens is that is the Colossal Titan, and it kicks through the wall, which then gives charge to all these Titans that are outside the wall, coming in and just ripping people to shreds. We also are introduced in this episode 1 to the Armored Titan, which, I mean, he just
rolls.
He literally steamrolls through all of these buildings and knocks a hole through the second wall of the 3 walls, to which we're like, all right, 2 of their 3 defenses are down, and it's episode 1. Like, what's going on? And then finally, as Nate said, the brutal scene where Eren's mom gets eaten, to literally when he says like picked up and snapped, like it is no joke. Like she literally snaps her half on screen.
It's brutal.
So we see that essentially traumatize Eren to what he becomes today. And it's one of the best starting episodes in anime I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, Grind Project says episode 1 sounds like a bunch of moments, not just one.
That's very true.
That's actually,
and he says, spoiler alert, Austin's list will disappoint.
Mm-hmm. It's funny that you say this, Grind Project. You act like you're on the show all the time. But
King's a little salty about that.
A little salted in the wounds. Nate, let's move on. Number 9.
Number 9 for me is Historia versus Rod Rice, aka her dad. Who there's a whole backstory behind that. But basically, to sum it all up, her dad turns into one of the most gigantic titans to exist, and basically just goes on a complete rampage, I would say, and starts heading towards is it the city center, the wall center again? I believe?
It's the wall center again. But Nate's not putting it into perspective. This Titan is so big, it can't stand up.
Yeah.
So it legitimately is brushing its body like along. So when it eventually does stand up, the face and the entire chest of the body is completely like open.
Yep.
Like there's nothing there.
And the thing is, you can't even get close enough to it to like even attack it, due to the fact of the heat that's just emanating off of it. Like if you get close, you just automatically get like burned completely.
Yeah. So it is. He's right though. The scene where like Historia, like finally lands the killing blow that ends her father is a pretty good scene to say the least.
I would just say it just sets her up like finally as like one of like before, like whenever like before she was named Historia, she was just this girl named Krista who was just kind of there. She didn't do much.
She was a nice girl.
And then it's revealed that she is actually like in line to be part of the queen basically of Paradise. and like it's just like, okay, well, she hasn't done anything really besides this and maybe this, but she hasn't done much. And then finally, like, she actually makes a name for herself, I think, finally, while fighting her own father and ultimately becoming getting the plan to kill her father, and then finally landing the killing blow. So that's my number 9 personally.
Right. My number 9 is simply this. It's one of the most shocking things that I've witnessed. Number 9 is Zeke's backstory.
Oh, that's good.
So Zeke, we find out who eventually inherits the Beast Titan. We see is this young boy that is trying to. What happens is that there's this program that people put these young individuals in that are destined to become Titans and defenders. And Zeke is thrown in there by his parents. And we don't realize it, but what ends up happening is that we find out that Zeke's dad is actually Aaron's dad. And the two are in fact brothers. So Zeke ends up turning in his parents to the military. And the smiling Titan, or the Titan that eats Aaron's mom, is in fact Zeke's mom.
Yeah.
So it is a
Wow.
whole wave of momentum, whole wave that just shifts the entire course of the story to why everything of this is happening. Why are Zeke and Aaron so connected? Their dad, who was originally saved by this individual that was the Attack Titan, Zeke's and Aaron's dad inherits the Attack Titan, to where then eventually Aaron inherits the Attack. So it all comes back full force, and seeing this all on screen was just crazy, to say the least. Zeke's backstory for me at number 9.
I like that.
What we got for number 8, Nate?
For number 8, I have the basement reveal.
At 8.
Yes.
Ooh. Ooh. Okay.
There's a reason why I don't have it higher, and you'll see why. But number 8, I have it is because, I mean, it is one of the most major things in the entire series that's talked about ever since the beginning of season 1. Because Aaron's dad is just like, hey, next time I'm home, I'll show you what's in the basement. And then everything that we talked about occurred, and you never see his dad. You never see his dad again, to be honest with you, except through like memories and backstory and whatnot. Except for this one little plot point where you see him and he injects his own son with a shot, and then he's like, hey, it's for your own good, and then Aaron eats his dad. But we don't find that out.
What?
Yeah, again,
this show is crazy.
Boys.
This show is crazy.
Yep.
The reason why I have that number 8 is just the reason. It's just like it's been working up, and then finally we get into the basement, and it reveals that, oh crap, this is how it actually all is going on. It reveals literally everything. It reveals that there is a completely different continent other than them, called Marley, that is basically sending over these Titans to essentially just like keep Paradise in check, and to stop them from doing like anything basically, or even like advancing in technology. Because we see that in Marley, they have cars, they have Zeppelins, they have like working electricity. While on Paradise, there's nothing. They don't have any tech. They still have cannons. That's it.
Huh. So it's a whole nother advanced society that we didn't even realize.
Yeah. And it's also revealed that about like where his dad came from and everything other than that. And personally, that's why I have it at number 8.
Got you. We're going to speed it along real quick because we got something else going on at 8. Tune in for when Deke streams video games and everything. Number 8 for me, simply titled Coordinate Activated. Aaron finally, what ends up happening is that Aaron is confronted with the Smiling Titan, which is the Titan that has eaten his mother. And he simply punches in human form the hand of the Smiling Titan. And we finally realize that Aaron doesn't just have the Attack Titan in him. He has the Founding Titan within him. And the Founding Titan, if the coordinate is activated, the Founding Titan, just like that, can control every single Titan in the area. So what ends up happening is that all the Titans jump on the Smiling Titan and literally rip it to shreds.
Damn.
Like, it is brutal, to say the least. But yes, coordinate activated for me at number 8.
All right. Then at number 7, I have the Declaration of War, which is basically Eren. He's been undercover in Marley territory, and all of a sudden, he basically, Austin mentioned it earlier, but he basically does a surprise attack onto the citizens of Marley during this one grandiose, like, military, like, gathering, where I think Willie Tybur is, I can't quite remember.
Yeah, Tybur, yeah.
He's like basically one of the heads of the country. I think the leader of the country, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. He just really gets yeeted up into the air, and then Eren eats him. And then Eren stomps on a bunch of people, and it's just literally a declaration of war, because then everybody from the Survey Corps comes over and just starts slaughtering. And then Armin activates his nuclear bomb, because Armin gets the Colossal Titan power, and activates literally a nuke inside the city and kills, I don't even know how many. And it's just one of the most insane, like, episodes, I think, out of the first part of season 4.
It was a building point. Like, we knew it was going to happen at some point, and when it finally does, it's like, wow.
Yeah.
It is incredible. Number 7 for me is simply titled Stop Whining. And I put this way is because when we talked about at the beginning where Levi gets attacked by his own men that get turned into Titans, Zeke, the Beast Titan, has this ability where he can take his Titan serum and put it into different things. And unknowingly, when people ingest this, Zeke screams and they all turn into Titans. So Levi is attacked by his entire Survey Corps of like 30 individual Titans, and Levi kills every single one of them. It's brutal, to say the least. It was such a crazy thing of how is he going to do it? Is he not? That is my number 7.
I like that. Well, number 6, you had that. Number 8, Eren activating the coordinate.
Yep.
I'm gonna say much more. It was probably one of the coolest parts, and also just like at the time raised so many questions, because it's just like, how the hell did that just happen?
Right. How did he activate it? Now I get that. It's funny because then my number 6 is what you said already. Declaration of War, or I have. War has arrived, and it is a scene because you see the kid Falco, who's like one of the main people trying to be the next Titan, lead this individual to Reiner. And we find out that this individual is in fact Eren. And Eren simply tells him to sit while the play is going on. And then Eren finally is like, guess I am the villain. And then he just transforms out of nowhere and just eats the one guy. And it is, after that, it's all brutality, to say the least.
Oh, well, all right. Carry on for that. Number 5, I have the Forest of Giant Trees, which also you know all too well. And if any viewers out there know, you know why I chose that at number 5. Easily probably one of the most chaotic parts of season 1. I think you just basically there's this unknown, like, abnormal Titan that's basically targeting the center line, because they're doing this one strategy of like luring out this unknown being, because they had their suspicions. Erwin's a genius, yada yada yada. Basically what goes on in the Forest of Giant Trees is nothing but pandemonium, where Levi's squad, one of the best squads in the beginning of the series, gets completely wiped out except for Levi. Eren gets almost kidnapped. Levi becomes a Beyblade. And it's just so many moving parts that it's just, I can't describe every single one, but like
all of it happening at once. It's literally just
it's
insane.
one of the most insane parts in the entire entire season 1, and that's my number 5.
It's funny that we talk about Levi because my number 5 is in fact Levi versus the Beast Titan. And this happens on more than one occasion, but their first encounter is by far one of the best. In season 3, Levi is trying to make his way to the Beast Titan, which is throwing rocks pitcher style against this entire like city, trying to lure out people. And Levi simply comes out of the shadows, moving from Titan to Titan with his hooks, and in the first 2 seconds cuts off the Beast Titan's entire finger and hand, and then nips his Achilles heel, and then rips him to shreds, essentially. Like, it is one of the this is one of the moments where Levi is 100% one of the most overpowered characters in Attack on Titan.
Seems
and
like it.
it's my number 5, man.
He's so insane because at number 4 I have that exact same thing.
It's kind of going back and forth.
Yeah, it seems
I
like
mean, it's, you can tell. I mean, we're like the same people doing the same thing, man. It's good. It's funny. Number 4 for me is the basement reveal.
Okay.
For how genius this was, that for how long through the 3 seasons we thought that this was the only area of contention was Paradise. And we find out there's this whole other area named Marley where all the original aspects of the Titans came from, what they were doing, all the technology and everything that is blown to bits. I mean, it's beautifully well written to the point where like I was like, holy crap, this changes the whole dynamic of the entire show, which gives it the right of being my number 4.
That's fair. I like that. I like that. Well, I want to see what your number 3 is, but first, mine is going to be Survey Corps versus the Armored and Colossal Titans in the Return to Shigencena arc, which is, as you know, and like I said again, as the viewers might know, literally one of the penultimate arcs of the entire series up until this point. It literally is something that's been building up on since they've left Shigencena, which is Aaron's hometown, Armin's hometown, Mikasa's hometown. They're finally returned. They're trying to take it back, and they have to go through the Armored and Colossal Titans inside of this wall, this little wall. And it is one of the most insane things because you don't know if they're going to live. You don't know if they're going to die. The Colossal Titan is a mini nuke at any point that Bertolt activates it. So like everyone is just constantly being on edge and trying to take out everyone at once at one time. It's insane.
My number 3 is in that same aspect of that particular moment. My number 3 is Erwin's charge.
Okay.
So Erwin's charge, essentially, the group knows that they're not going to survive, but they have to protect Aaron. So Erwin, the leader of the Survey Corps, engineers a final stand where they all charge the Beast Titan at once on horse. And the Beast Titan mows every single one of them down. Erwin being the first to take the brunt, where he simply goes, "My soldiers rage." And then you just see these particles of rock just flying, and it cuts through Erwin like a knife through hot butter. Ooh. Like it is like it's brutal to say the least, and that's why it's my number 3.
Well, that's my number 2. Literally, it's to add on to that. Erwin gives probably one of the best speeches in the entire anime, I think, right before that charge.
Yeah,
literally, because everyone was like freaking out, wanting to like just run away, just leave, but he does an amazing speech that gets them all riled up to literally just die.
Yeah. Yep. My number 2, I won't spend too much time on this because we already talked about it at the beginning of the show. This is the reveal that Reiner and Bertolt are the Armored and Colossal Titan, because it changes the whole dynamic of there is actually an enemy within aside from the Titans. So that reveal was huge. They both transform at the same time, and it ends the episode right there. And I was just like, you can't do that.
So that's how they get you at the end of the episode like that.
Cliffhangers.
So that is my number 2.
My number 1, I know we've all been waiting, is them finally seeing the ocean at long last. It was a dream that Armin had. It was a dream that Aaron supported since the beginning. And it was something that was like constantly touched upon, I think, to like motivation to get them through to seeing that. And what's also funny is that's whenever you finally see Aaron not truly be Aaron anymore. Right. He just points across at the ocean, just says, if I kill everyone over there, will we be finally free?
Right.
And that to me is why that's my number 1. You think it's going to be a beautiful moment, then it just turns into something that's just like, crap, this is far from over.
Whole new dynamic. Yep.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Number 1 I have is the sea.
Hey!
Again, they get to the ocean and we see what should be the ending of a beautiful moment turn into one of the more darker moments in that. So yes, those are our top 10 Attack on Titan moments. We'll put those on the chat again and online to see who did better, Nate or myself. Will Nate claim the crown? Not likely, but I love to see him try.
I mean, you guys kind of have the same thing.
Yeah,
so.
you kind of did.
Right?
It was very close.
Just different places. We're getting a little bit over time, but it's fine. I'll wrap up here real quick. Nate, thank you for being on the show tonight. It was a wonderful moment to have you on here finally as a guest talking anime and talking Attack on Titan. I hope to have you on here in the future for future anime episodes, my friend.
I'm more than welcome, and like, thank you for having me. Truly, this was fun. I really enjoyed this.
It weirdly enough is kind of fun. Yeah,
I like learning about this stuff.
Yeah, even though we have to talk to him for like an hour and a half, it's not that bad.
On that note, Greg, grab the. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. Shut up. Tune in to Deke's stream for video games after this. We'll be on for Among Us and different things. Until then, catch us Tuesdays, 6:30. Court is adjourned.
Court is adjourned.